Hello everybody and welcome back for, well, this was meant to be our final studio visit here to the Audi Sport live studio here at the Nürburgring overlooking the pit lane. We've got just under half an hour to go, and if I keep glancing over there, that's because this race is boiling down to an exceptional finale, and the last couple of pit stops are about to happen. The Rover Racing BMW of Nicky Katzberg will be in at the end of this lap, and Christopher Haase will go back through in the number 3, the Audi Sport Car Collection R8 LMS GT3, and take the lead. But he's got his last stop to make as well. It will be a bit shorter. There was 13 seconds between them the last time I looked. Frank Bieler is joining me in the studio. Frank, you've got a smile on your face. How can you not? This is extraordinary.
It's unbelievable. I mean, we are watching the race now for 23 hours or more than 23. Okay, a little less on track because of the red flag. But they are 10 seconds apart. And as you just explained, Katzberg is coming in now, this end of this lap, and Christopher 1 lap later. But that means that we have less time in the pits. So I'm pretty sure going out of the pits again, Christopher should be in front. So very, very close.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
this is Frank Bieler's prediction.
I bet.
Okay. This is all down to what Frank and I were talking about early on in the week. Remember, we were joking and having a bit of a laugh about how complicated it was for the team and the engineers and the strategists earlier on, with more than 90 scenarios of pit stop, minimum pit stop times. There have been a lot of people caught out. It's causing a lot of conversation on Twitter, I've noticed, because some of the penalties have been served for just 0.1 or 0.2 underneath the mandatory stop time. But what I will say is that the officials have applied those regulations absolutely and consistently. And that, Frank, ultimately is what teams want to be. If you're disadvantaged because you've made a mistake, whether it's 0.1 of a second or 2 seconds, you want to know that you're going to be treated fairly, and so are your competitors.
Absolutely. I think there should be black and white. I mean, if there is a dead line, or if it's plus, it's white. If it's minus, it's black. So there's no discussion. And I think throughout the race it was pretty fair, and as soon as you saw some things going on not the right way, race control immediately reacted. So I think nobody can complain, and for the last few minutes I think there are no problems.
So Katzberg in for a splash of fuel that will take him to the end of the race in 26 minutes time. Roughly speaking, that's going to be, what, 3, possibly 4 laps is what he's looking at. So we could have a real battle for the last 3 tours of this circuit. Christopher Haase should be coming in at the end of this lap, and we're going to stay on the air until he comes in and then get down to Alan McNish in the pit lane to talk us through what's going on. He's got Chris Renke with him from Audi Sport as well. I don't understand how this race, Frank, keeps turning up the heat and turning up such great entertainment. For the last 5, 6, 7 of the editions of this race, we've had major positional changes sometimes in the last lap.
Yes, absolutely. And also this weekend, I mean, before the red flag, I think we had a lead around 2-3 minutes. Already quite comfortable actually after 7-8 hours. Then due to the red flag, it was equalized again, so the field came together again. Then after the restart again, they were able to pull away a little bit. But then with the last, not really a rain shower, but a strong drizzle, let's say, everything turned around again, you know, and fortunately we took a good decision when to bring the cars in, and that's why it's so close at the end of the race.
Got to give credit to those people behind GT3, because what we've got here are cars from different manufacturers with different philosophies. You know, you have the mid-engine V10, the V8 in the front of the BMW. They're so close together.
Everybody very competitive. All the different manufacturers are competitive, so that's very nice to watch and very nice to look at.
Tell you what I'm going to do. Let's check in with Alan down on the pit wall. Alan, what's the atmosphere like down in the pit lane? Because this is a very, very big pit stop. We talk about teamwork. There can be no slip-ups here. The man on the stopwatch is probably the most important man of the whole race for Audi.
Everybody's part of the team, and everybody's got to be so precise all the way through. This final 13th pit stop is going to be the deciding point. Frankie said he thought there was going to be an advantage to Christopher when he came out, but if it is, it's going to be so close. And a lot of it's about the in-lap as well. But right now, if you look across here, I've got Chris Renke just standing, and I can see he's pacing around. But look, the guys are preparing, mentally preparing, just making sure that they do the tyre stop, make sure the fuel goes in, because they don't need to take a full tank of fuel. And this pit stop is actually not got the same time limitation as the earlier ones. We're into 70 minutes before the end. That means it can be a shorter stop. Chris, how long do you think we will need to stop with Christopher Haase for this final stop?
Well, I think the most essential for this stop to understand the strategy in the race is that our stop will be 23 seconds shorter than the last one of the BMW. When the BMW came last time in the pits, we were around about 19 seconds behind. So if they run the same lap time in the virtual standing, that would mean we would be 4 seconds ahead. So yeah, the last pit stop of ours will be around about 70 seconds. If everything goes well, we should make it just ahead, but it will be down to the line, this race. I mean, unbelievable. I think everybody over there, you said, is preparing. I think everybody, first of all, is focused somehow to keep on breathing. Everybody is focusing on the final task to contribute to the result of this race, however it will be. It will be down to the wire, and we will have a race result, I don't know, I estimate plus minus 3 seconds today.
John, just up there, can you tell us what the actual gap, because we heard Chris say 23 seconds was going to be the time benefit over the BMW at this final stop. What's the gap now?
Well, the problem is, of course, that the BMW is on an outlap, and so the gap at the line doesn't actually make a lot of sense at the moment. It was 1 minute and 13 seconds, but a lot of that is going to be soaked up by the pit lane. And I'm just watching the splits here, Alan, and they're matching each other 10th for 10th as Christopher Haase is heading up to the bottom of the Caracciolo carousel at the moment. So that's where he is. And this could all come down, Al, couldn't it, to just how much traffic each of those cars has to have a go at. Oh, it looks like we've got a slow zone at the bottom. Yes, we have. We've got a slow zone at the bottom of the run to the Caracciolo carousel, and that's where Haase is now. This
is he
could
after, or is he before?
No, he's in it now, and we've got a tow truck with a car on it. So that means that he's been slowed down here, and this could be absolutely crucial.
Yeah, I've got to say, I don't know about you, but my heart is beating like mad at this moment in time. The mechanics have now got the tyre set out. Chris, are they going to change tyres for this final stint?
Yes, absolutely.
And is Christopher going to stay in the car?
Yes, he will.
And the strategy for Christopher to stay in the car is because he knows the circuit, he knows the conditions, and he can maximise that outlap as well as maximising the in-lap that he's on.
Especially in changing conditions like at the moment. The North Drive is so long, with all the puddles, with all the difficulties out there, it would be disastrous to change the driver at this moment.
Well, certainly that's the case, but right now, John, the guys are ready. They've got the tyres. They're still in the blankets because they need to keep them in those blankets to keep them as warm as possible. Because, as you say, it's going to be about the traffic. It's going to be the outlap. It's going to be the ability to maximise the speed round the outside of people, which if the tyres are a bit cooler, you cannot do.
I'm afraid to tell you that Christopher Haase lost 6 seconds to the chasing pack, to the BMW in the 5th sector because of that slow zone, but he's got clear of that now, and he's had a pretty decent run from there on, from the carousel. We've still got a slow zone, in fact a code 60 zone at the entry to the carousel and the carousel itself. Frank Baylor and I are wrapped. I think we can probably punch up the onboard as well so that we can give our viewers an idea of what's going on in the cockpit of the number 3 Audi. But at the moment, Frank, other than that little slow zone that we had, it's been pretty clear from the carousel for Christopher.
Can you hear?
The question is whether Casper was hitting also this traffic. I think he didn't. Second seconds. So this could make a big difference, of course, because as we said before, it's very close when Christopher comes out of the pits again. So we have to really wait and see. The way to the pits now should be quite okay for him. So they'll just in front of Döttinger Höhe now, 2 more turns, and then it should be easy going. Let's see, let's cross fingers. I hope it works out.
Just coming through the Gallows Hill corner, the Gallenkopf corner, onto the Döttinger Höhe now. Alan McNish is standing by with Chris Renke. You've got about half a minute, I reckon, Al, before the Christopher Haase car, which is scored as leading the race, remember, but this is an absolute battle in the pit lane. Nicely clear run down the Döttinger Höhe at the moment, coming to the second rise on that. And I presume then, with a bit of dampness out there, what's the tyre choice, Alan? That's the other thing. New tyres, you said, but what is the tyre choice? He's hunting for damp patches on the Döttinger Höhe at the moment.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's actually just been drizzling out here again. You know, it goes from drizzle to then dry overhead, but it's so cold and the wind's picking up. I actually think you've got to go with a wet tyre. Whether you go with a drying wet is the option, but I still think you've got to go with a wet tyre because you've got one stint, you've got to cane it, and we've got to throw everything at it.
He's in the lane,
so close.
He's in the lane. The headlights that you can see to your right-hand side is Christopher Haase, and this is the whole motor race, the 50th anniversary running of the 24 hours of the Nürburgring comes down to the next 90 seconds. Alan McNish is on the pit wall.
Yeah, he's coming in now, pulling into the pit lane. There's so many camera crews around him. He's got to stop and spot it. He did. The guys are straight onto it. It's a full set of wets here, John, that are going onto the car. The fronts are off. The fronts are back on again. There's not much brake dust. Everything looks good there. They're now onto the rear side. And so far, everything's going well. The fuel's going, and remember, Chris Renke said it was about a 70-second stop. That's due to the fuel flow into the tank. And they're now torquing those tyres with the old-fashioned torque wrench. Tyres are all done, just waiting on fuel, waiting on countdown. The stopwatch man is the critical man. They're looking at that for the feedback, as now the tension is definitely building.
Alan,
I don't think Chris has blinked.
The BMW is coming onto the front straight of the Grand Prix circuit. He caught the end of the slow zone and he's going to pass you about now. That's Katzberg going back through into the lead. So now we've got a 17-minute sprint for the end of this race.
Yeah, the BMW has gone through and now he's dropped and he's on his way. So it is BMW leading, but it looks by about maybe 7 or 8 seconds, Chris. The difference between the BMW leading, which is all due to that slow zone on the in-lap, which is one of these things.
Yeah, exactly. One of those things you don't have under control, but we got to see. I mean, there are 20 minutes to go. Maybe we can do something out on the track, but yeah, let's not write it off. The race is not over till the flag comes down, so we'll fight to the very last minute.
Chris, we've won many races together, and so therefore I know you will go out down fighting, and Christopher out there will go down fighting. The whole team have delivered a fantastic job so far, but this is how important and how close this race is. Nürburgring 24 hours, separated by seconds.
Nothing to add. We try everything to make it happen.
John.
A very determined team. Alan, thank you for that real tension down in the pit lane.
My heart is beating like mad. These last few minutes are going to be so tense. And Christopher's the guy in the car, and he's the guy that can get the job done for Audi.
What we're going to do is step aside for about 10 minutes. Alan, thank you very much. Don't go too far away from where you are now. We're going to step aside for about 10 minutes. We'll be back at 25 past the hour because the tension is getting to us as well, and the best way for you to enjoy this is on our side-by-side with the international English language commentary. Johnny Palmer will be taking you to the end of the race. Go and watch that now, and then come back with us, and we will give you all of the inside information we can and some of the atmosphere from down there in the Audi Sport pits with Alan, with Frank Behler, and with myself, John Hindorf. 10 minutes time. Take a deep breath. It might be the last one you get between now and the end of the race. See you soon.